Hi, I'm Max Balegde.
And I'm George Clarke, and welcome to the Useless Hotline. TikTok wasn't working out for us, so we decided to set up our own little business.
We did, and the Useless Hotline is a place where we help you with your queries, no matter how weird, disgusting, or embarrassing they are.
But it won't always just be us. Some weeks, perhaps this week, we'll be joined by a very special guest. Or not so special, just a guest.
Yes, absolutely. So, shall we just get into it, George, quickly before they arrive?
Bloody okay.
I just firstly want to ask you something because so many people message me. Are you hungover?
No, I'm actually not. I hate myself for going live. My dad messaged me and was like, I'm very disappointed in you.
So I just got back from Rome. We'll talk about that next week. And it was great. And I was in the
Look forward to that one.
Nothing
guys.
crazy happened. I don't know why. Sorry. But I was in the taxi home and it said that you and Arthur TV were live, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. I'll have a look. You're both on a train, and I could tell that you were just so drunk. I joined the live, and you said something like, "Oh, Max, I just love you. I think that you're just..." Yeah, I know, but I was like, that's just so bizarre to just like say on a train. Yeah, it was a very nice thing to say. Good. But I was like, oh, so then everybody was like, Max, you need to ask George if he's got a hangover, blah, blah. So just to clear it up, you don't. You're an iron machine.
I'm a really annoying person. I don't get hangovers.
Oh, you're so cool. You're so youthful. How about you shut the fuck up? Yeah, well, it is if you ever know what it feels like to have a hangover, because it's fucking horrific. But we've got a very exciting guest today.
We do.
James Buckley. Ooh.
You never normally say the name before.
Yeah, I know. I should have kept a bit more. Maybe bleep it. Oh, who's it going to be? I don't fucking know.
It's not exactly on the thumbnail or anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of, it sounds like they're at the door.
Wait, yes, they are. Wait, I'll just... Right. Okay. I've just told Karen to let them in.
Shut you up immediately.
Yeah. Thank you. Come over here. Right. Oh my gosh, George. Oh, they've arrived. Oh, he's here. Right, James Buckley, come on in.
Come on in, James Buckley, everybody. Woo!
Live studio audience.
Actually, it is sort of a live studio audience
Here we are.
This week.
It is. How are you doing?
Really good.
Oh, good.
Really good. How are you?
You guys that's nice. I like it when the guests ask how we are.
Usually
don't get it a lot.
Don't care.
They don't.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. But just being polite.
That's really nice. Thank you. So fake. We'll write that down. So just to let you know, the Useless Hotline is a very professional workspace, if you can't already tell.
I'm getting there.
And this is your job interview to see if you are worthy of perhaps someday working at the Useless Hotline. Someday, fingers crossed. So how it's going to work is we're going to start with basically just a quick character interview, and then we'll go into... Well,
you trying to just add in words to make it seem more professional. Character interview.
We're going to do a regular podcast interview, but of course a job interview, and then we're going to maybe go into a trial shift later on.
If you make it that far.
Right.
Yes.
In terms of the process, not just like lifetime.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if I wasn't feeling pressure before, thanks for making me feel so welcome.
No worries.
Well, one more thing to just pile on the pressure. We do a little bit of a test here at the Useless Hotline. So if you could just look in that cabinet behind me, please. Behind you.
Behind you. There you go.
Behind me.
Oh, we can open the cabinet. That's the test passed.
Oh.
Now we're talking.
Wow. Okay, so your first task for your interview is to pour us a drink.
Get as drunk as possible.
Yeah.
Pour you a drink.
Oh, this is
just
my
Max
mug.
when I've already filled my mug up.
Oh, well.
Like a silly boy.
Yeah.
What am I thinking here?
You have so much to choose from.
We've got a pineapple rum.
Oh, for the audio listeners, by the way, James is currently inside the cabinet.
Of course, Max has now left the closet.
Yeah, hey, I have.
Good fun.
Yeah.
Is that
I think that's probably...
name stuff?
Yeah.
Because the...
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That is fancy,
fun.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
it used to be. I don't know how long it's been in there.
Yeah, that's been in there for about 9 months, probably. I'm sure it's all right. Does Fanta go off?
I think eventually.
Yeah. Not in a year, though.
I'd be scared if it didn't go off.
Oh, shit. What is
That's
that?
all right. Simple's Max's motto.
Oh, that's a liqueur.
Oh.
No, we don't want that.
Oh, is that like that? I think that's
There's a
shit
lot of
Bailey's.
thought going into
Yeah. It's nice to know that you really care about us, James. I can tell.
I want this to be... I want you to like this.
Oh,
Thank
thank you. I'm sure we won't.
You've got really odd...
Yeah.
No, we have got a weird selection.
Yeah,
here.
we
I've
do.
just got like some vodka or gin in
No.
there.
No, we used to, but instead of restocking on vodka, we decided to get a load of different creams.
Yeah.
They're all liqueurs.
Yeah.
Cream.
Yeah.
Right, so I won't mix
Feel
them.
free to mix it. You can do. I mean, yeah. We're young whippersnappers. I'm sure we'll bounce back if we get poisoned.
See, this is a pineapple cream. This might be a bit sort of pina colada-y.
Maybe. Or just sicky. Oh, yeah, go for it.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought you were going to spit it into the mug then.
Yeah, we'll have that one.
I sat there a while, wasn't Jesus.
Well, we did have that one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've not even got like just some soda water or...
No, we have hooch. We usually use hooch
just
as a
jot
mixer.
down there, not appreciative of the alcohol
hooch as a
selection.
mixer?
Yes, we do. So feel free, go for it.
Have you got a bottle opener?
We
Probably
do.
not. Oh, okay, we do.
In my... I'll go get it.
Yeah. We have one backstage, everybody. Oh Christ. Okay. I see what's happening here.
So a nice little orangeade
Jesus.
topped up with some gin.
Oh my God, that sounds absolutely awful, doesn't it? This is giving me like year 9 house party.
I'll do it for the both of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I feel like I've maybe taken too long.
That's right.
Absolutely fine.
Just shows that you care.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very, very kind of you. It really is. Oh, nice, generous pour there. That's nice. Loved a bit of gin in the morning.
That's 2 shots.
The classic cocktail of gin and orange hooch.
Yeah. Oh God.
That looks
Fucking disgusting,
radioactive.
isn't it? I've already got a drink. What am I doing?
That looks like Jamie Oliver's nightmare.
Oh.
Right. All
Mm.
in one.
Thank you. All in one. You can get to fuck.
Drink up. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Feel free to pour yourself one of anything or just grab anything.
Fucking
from-
drink that.
Right. Cheers, George.
Oh God, that smells horrible.
Oh, do you want a drink? Right? Do you want another one of them? Maybe. Just
No, I
for
better
out
not.
Are you all right? Yeah.
You're letting people know that I've had a drink before, just to calm the nerves.
Right,
Come on, guys.
cheers.
No one drinks at this time in the
Yeah, I
morning.
know. God, what the fuck?
Oh, good.
It's great. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't help that it's lukewarm.
Go on,
Oh,
go on, I'll
really
have a
good.
little bit.
That
then.
is-
I don't
Oh,
want-
you
It
don't want
is
to.
really
but
good.
Go for it.
You have to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Solidarity.
Oh,
that's what
this
it's
is
all
horrible.
about.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
That says a lot about you.
Might mess
Oh
up
my
one.
God.
You don't have to.
Oh, it's
get it
fucking
down
horrible.
you.
I'm sorry. Right.
It's all right.
Oh, right. Let's get on with this professional interview.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, firstly, just my instincts as soon as I see you, so many words pop to mind. I'm sure that you can imagine what they are. But what is the number one thing that people usually say to you when they meet you?
Bus wanker.
Bus wanker.
Absolutely. It's number one. Straight in at number one. There's no competition.
I love
Is
that.
bus just a mode of transport you can no longer ever use again?
I guess so, yeah. Although it doesn't, because I get the train quite a lot, and I do get called train wanker. So
Maybe
great.
they've never
It's
even seen the
universal.
show before. It's just a bit of a wank.
Yeah. Maybe you are the common denominator here. Do you walk and people just shout wanker?
Walking wanker.
Just out. No, they
Foot
don't.
wanker. Oh, that sounds a bit weird. I don't like that.
Wanker.
I mean,
Ooh.
don't knock it till you try it. Do you know
I
what I
haven't seen
mean?
the search history.
Yeah. So
No.
that's the number one.
Yeah, that's the number one.
Oh, okay.
You said this morning after sprinting for the train, you just got friends.
Yeah, I got friends, and I got a wobba bob bob, which is one that I don't
That's a
hear
niche
very
one.
I
often.
was going to
fairly
say,
niche,
yeah,
yeah.
that's very niche.
Do you know what Wobba Bob Bob is?
Yes, I remember. It's not from the movie, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
It is from the movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great times.
There you go.
So, as you know, we all know and love you from the Inbetweeners. You've had a huge acting career at this point.
It's been all right.
How did you get into acting? Like, where did that all start for you?
I guess I was just a bit of a show off when I was a kid. I just liked making people laugh. I was the class clown. And I
Yeah.
can imagine. I sort of, if I do ever bump into someone from school, I do feel a bit sick because because I think about how I was when I was at school, just such a little arsehole.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
do
Just
anything.
Some would
for
say a wanker.
exactly.
Yeah.
School wanker. Ooh.
Do it.
Oh my
Don't
God.
don't add that
Oh
one
God,
to the list.
no, please, yeah.
Just doing anything to make the class laugh. That was basically my goal in life. And then I started going to sort of a local stage school when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And I got my first professional job when I was about 10 or 11 in the West End in a musical.
Oh, wow. What did you play?
I was just one of the kids in a show called Whistle Down the Wind at the Aldwych Theatre, which I really enjoyed. I really, and I was like, oh, I'd love to do this for the rest of my life. This would be really fun. And then for some reason or another, I was always involved in something, and it would usually mean taking months off of school.
Mm.
And that was it. So you had to get permission. I'm sure it's even more strict these days.
Yeah.
I had to get like a written letter from the headmistress of my school and stuff to say yes, he's allowed to take this time off.
Wow.
But I think they were like, well, he's not really doing
It's
much.
the only hope he's got.
He's not. Yeah, exactly. He's not doing much here. So might as well. But yeah, I was always involved in something or another, and then the Inbetweeners was the same. I auditioned for it, and you get recalled and called back and stuff like that.
How long was that process? Like,
that was a really, really long process actually, because I was in the pilot of the Inbetweeners.
Yeah.
I was the only one out of the boys that was actually in the unaired pilot.
Oh, really?
Really?
And I played Neil in the pilot as well. I played a different character.
So you didn't apply for Jay?
Just take wherever you can get, can't you? At that stage of the career. But the pilot came out, and then there was a lot of waiting around for well over a year until we found out we were going to actually make it a proper show out of it.
Yeah.
And then we brought out the first series, and no one watched it. And then, sorry, I got gin in my throat.
That happens here. Don't you worry.
And then
that pineapple liqueur, it'll get you.
I'm glad I didn't put any of that cream stuff in.
Sounds like you're getting choked up. Such good memories.
It was. Just
One
thinking
second,
back
I've
to
got
it
gin
now.
in my
One
throat.
time in my life. Yeah, it took a long time for the show to eventually become a thing. And then it did, and thank God it did, because as I say, I've got no qualifications, I've got no formal education or anything behind me, so I'm glad that I still get to make people laugh and make an idiot of myself.
Did any of the other boys that were in the pilot, did they ever amount to anything that you know?
Just in
Are you watching? Maybe
it's your time to call them out.
Yeah, I'm sure they
I
all
made
did.
it.
They're all dead. They're all dead clever. Like
I thought you were going to say they're all dead.
they're all dead.
No, that's
They're
why they
all
didn't make the 8 episodes.
No, they all sadly passed away. I was the only one that made it out of the pilot.
It's been years since I've heard from them.
They could be dead.
One of them is very successful and has had a very long career in stand-up comedy.
Oh, okay.
He always pops up in stuff. So
Alan Carr.
Alan, he
Yes,
was in
it
it.
was
He was in the
originally
pilot.
Neil.
He was
playing Jay
he
in
was
the
Will.
pilot.
He was
he
Will
was
in
Will.
the-
Okay.
Yeah, Alan.
Hi, my name's Will.
Is that Alan Carr?
There was a very, very botched job one, yeah. I was a
I
bit
enjoyed
embarrassed
it,
to do it when
yeah.
he was on the podcast
Yeah,
to
fair
his
enough.
face.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. So I didn't. So I didn't realize that like a pilot process can take that long. Is that usual? Then
I don't think so.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I think
They
usually
went,
like a channel.
we'll have to go with him, I guess, then.
Yeah.
I think a
Put it
channel
off
will
long
know
enough.
within a couple of months. They'll watch it and they'll decide whether it's any good or not. You don't have to watch something and then, like, say if you watch something on television, you don't go, well, I'll give it a year before I decide whether this thing's any good or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know whether it's interesting or not, but there's a lot of
Stay tuned, guys.
it was, obviously it's a business television, isn't it? And so they have to think about budgets, and the channel has to decide whether they can pay for it or whether they even want to pay for it. And at the time, Big Brother was the biggest thing on television, and when we made the pilot, they'd trebled or quadrupled their budget. The production company said, "This is how much that we want." You to pay us Channel 4 if you want to keep the biggest show on television on your channel. So Channel 4 were like, right, well, we're going to have to, because we can't say no to Big Brother. And then all of a sudden there was no money to make anything else. So we were a bit like, oh, well, they're not going to give the Inbetweeners money, are they? They're not going to give this rubbish that we've
What was
served
it? What
up.
was it originally called? Because it wasn't called The Inbetweeners.
It was called Baggy Trousers.
Oh, did you know
Baggy
that?
It was
trousers.
called Baggy Trousers, but it was originally set in the 80s.
Really?
By the time we made the pilot, that idea, they wanted something more contemporary that kids could like.
Yeah, think about it. I just can't imagine it being set.
I think that sounds more cool. I think
Baggy
I think that would be quite cool. But that
Maybe
was,
for like a band.
well, that was it. It's a Madness song, Baggy Trousers.
Oh, is
So
it?
It's a big song from the 80s, and that's why they.
Right.
And it was about the writers growing up in the 80s. But it turns out that young men are just idiots no matter what decade they grow up
It's a
in.
timeless thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's so
very cool.
interesting. So of all of like the weird, I mean, we mentioned before about like the things that people say to you. Is there one very bizarre fan encounter that sticks out to you to this day?
I imagine people can be arseholes.
Oh yeah.
99.9% people are absolutely amazing.
Wankers.
No, people
They
are
are
absolutely
arseholes.
amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got to be honest, there was a little thing just coming into the building.
Really?
This building.
Sorry about that.
Somebody was just, I had my headphones on and I was flustered. I'd been running for my train. So we don't have to talk about that. That's a boring story. But I was a bit flustered when I turned up. And
I'm going to meet Max and George. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Huge fan.
And I was trying to get into the building and I did that thing where I pushed when it was a pull.
Oh,
and
nice.
I was all a mess.
Very cool.
And some bloke was just holding, I didn't know, he was already stood next to me holding a phone, and I don't know if I was live on TikTok or something like that. And I was having a bit of a moment. And he was like, "Come do a video." And I was like, no thanks.
Yeah.
For a reason.
I said, "I'll do a photo with you."
Yeah.
I
feel like that's
I didn't
very
fancy
fair.
being on video at that
No.
moment.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's weird
very
when
fair.
if somebody just like, without even saying anything, just thrusts the camera in the air. But when it's
Yeah.
recording as well, and you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hi.
It's one thing asking, and if you say
absolutely.
100%.
But like I say, that's probably, I don't know, the second or third time something like that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That
It's always
surprises
been,
me.
"Do you mind if I get a picture?"
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
no problem.
Wow.
Well, I guess
That's
it is
good then.
slightly different because, like, with us, it's us putting like, people have sort of seen us grow and they think we're like our mates, like because
Yeah,
we're
we put our
posting
set,
like
well,
daily,
it's our
just
person.
our
Yeah,
person.
whereas they
That's
know
it,
you as a
yeah.
character, don't
Yeah.
they?
Well, but that's it. They think I'm that character.
I was going to
as
say,
well.
how do you find that? Because, I mean, obviously Jay and the show, The Inbetweeners, is very out there, vulgar,
yeah.
very, like, but I imagine you don't just walk around, like, going to pick up your, like, prescription. You go, all right, you slag, give it here.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, depends.
Well, yeah.
Depends if I've had my gin and
Of
orange
course.
hooch
Yeah,
that day.
morning ritual.
No, because obviously no one's as insane as Jay from The Inbetweeners.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have that character because I'm just quite a boring person.
No, I was going to say, yeah.
So
it's
Can
nice
you
to
bring
have-
some more Jay out if that's
yeah,
all right?
it's in a way, it's like a little bit of a crutch to be able to lean on Jay to sort of be a bit, go, oh, you bust way. Like I'll say it
Yeah.
back or something. I'm like, oh yeah, brilliant. Like
Yeah.
people go, oh, he said that thing. And it just makes people happy, and I'm
Yeah.
all about that. That's
Yeah.
no
No,
problem
it's-
to me.
Very fair
It's
enough.
it's nice to see because I've seen you in the past say that, like, because I know a lot of people, if they're sort of tied to a role,
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, I want to like shake it or whatever, but you like sort of
I
embrace.
don't know. Maybe if I hated the character, which
Yeah.
I don't. I really
Yeah.
love Jay. I
Yeah.
just think he's really funny.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of him.
Mm.
I can imagine if I hated the character that,
Yeah.
that I would be, because you get those people that are like, oh please, you
Got a
know,
name and shame, like who?
No, you do. I mean, it happens. It happens all the time with like big. I get what you mean with like big people who maybe did like a movie or something like early on in their career that becomes like a huge thing. Like for example, like Daniel Radcliffe or something. Like he did. He was bloody Harry
Yeah.
Potter. And then some people, I mean, he's always been very open about like, yeah, I don't mind talking about it in interviews and stuff like that. But I can imagine when it's every single time you do anything that's being brought up, some people get a bit touchy about it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't.
That's good.
Because
That's really good.
I understand that people want to hear me talk about the Inbetweeners. What else
Yeah.
do they want to hear me talk
If
about?
anything, it's a compliment that this far on, people are still like,
It's brilliant.
I really want to
100%.
talk about it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Oh, good. That's great.
But can we stop talking about it?
Yes, that's like when we have like we've had like people like who are just out of Love Island or something, and they're like, right, I don't want to talk about Love Island.
They don't want to talk about
And it's
Love
like,
Island.
mate, well, what the fuck are we doing
Right, so
then?
you talk about the business that you did before and the selling
Yeah.
pens or
Yeah,
whatever.
literally. Like, what is happening?
Really interested.
See, they shouldn't do that. They should use Love Island.
100%.
Say, I'm absolutely happy to talk about Love Island, and then right at the end, can we say, oh, and
I'm doing
also
this.
I've got
I'm
my
doing
pen.
this. Yeah. Also, I'm-
How do you
got a
reckon you would
brilliant
fare
pen.
on Love Island?
Oh god, well, I'd clean up, obviously.
Now, how would Jay fare
Do you
on
know
Love
what?
Island, do you think?
I've never watched a second of Love Island. I've
Oh,
never
good
not?
for you. Good for you. It's a lot.
That'd
It's
be
a lot.
really
I've seen
interesting
it.
to see Jay in Love
Island.
I
don't understand what the competition is.
Right, so it's
well, there isn't one when you're in there.
I also don't care either.
No, good. Thank God.
Please
it's just
explain to me the
wild.
premise of Love Island.
I can't get into that right now, but it's just it's very bizarre.
It just sounds horrible to me. Like making the concept of love
Again.
like into a competition.
And like an actual
because I feel like if I was to go on a dating competition, like the type of person I am, I think I'm quite romantic and quite soppy. I genuinely think I would probably fall in love.
We've been meaning to thank you for the roses. That's very kind of you.
But inevitably, I'd end up, getting. I assume there's people that go on there that get their heart broken or something. Maybe. I don't know.
Badly. Yeah.
I swear I've never watched it before, but I would assume that.
No, I've not even seen I've not seen a millisecond of it.
It's good for your mental health. Don't
I know
worry.
the people are. You see, they become more famous.
Oh yeah, definitely. They've become very famous.
I'd be able to spot someone off of Love Island.
Yeah. So you didn't recognise me then?
Was you on Love Island?
No, what's
no.
Okay. I'm incredibly homosexual. I don't think.
Also, I think you have to be quite attractive.
Yes, that too.
And you have to be straight. You have to be straight.
Yeah,
I guess so. Well, they only do male and female couples.
Right.
Bisexual people go on, but then they couple up with the opposite gender.
Well, they're just cheating, aren't they?
Exactly. Yeah. Cheaters. What you doing? So thinking back to when you were filming the show, did you get a lot of choice over certain lines, or were you allowed to improv at times, or was it very much just scripted and that was what you did?
There wasn't much improv there. The scripts were so funny.
Yeah.
Like you say, you wouldn't really want to claim any of the Jay's lines.
I came up with plunge. Thank you. That was my work.
But also the writers knew us really well. We spent they're the sort of the fifth and sixth in-betweeners, really.
James, you say clunge quite a lot. Should we just pop that into the...
But the way they would write is they knew our voices. They knew how we naturally spoke. So when they did write a line, even when you're just saying something like, "Oh, I'm nipping off to go to the toilet. See you later." Sometimes someone might write something like, "Oh, I'm just going to pop to the loo," or something. And as an actor, you go, "That's not naturally how I would say that," but I'll work with it, obviously. Whereas they could just use all our cadences and the way that we speak and work that into the script. So there really was no work to do as an actor. It was really just turn up and muck about and have fun with your mates.
That's amazing.
But it was the jokes were there, and the jokes were so funny. There was no need for us to, and they'd spent a lot of time on those scripts. To be fair, those boys.
Really?
Was there a lot of scenes that you struggled to get through?
No, I never thought about them, because if you sit and think about them, you just had to. It was just like
do the
running through a wall.
Right.
Because if you didn't do it with the confidence, or especially with Jay, like that sort of bravado, if I sat and actually looked and thought, "Oh, am I actually going to say this?" You wouldn't have been able to have got the performance right. So I never really thought about for a second. I just ran. I was like, right, is that what I'm saying? Okay, go, action, let's do it. Are you the old lady that gives blowjobs? You can't ask people what they think about stuff. It's fair enough. You can get angry if someone comes up to you and you haven't provoked them or something. You just go, "Oh, that thing you did was shit." And you go, "Well, thanks, but I didn't ask." But whatever. So, but if you ask them, then you're opening a can of worms. You've got to be prepared for negativity, haven't you? So I've never asked anyone, "What did you think of that thing that I did?" Unless I was genuinely asking someone, I want to know if you thought that was bad.
Yeah, you want feedback. Yeah. That makes sense.
But I've never gone up to someone and said, "What did you think of the In-Betweeners?" Give me a year, I'll let you know.
Before you leave. What were we going to say? Oh yeah, so what am I talking about here?
I don't know.
Back to your lines being a little bit risque.
Yeah.
Have your kids not seen or aware of what you've done so far?
They're aware of the In-Betweeners, and they know it's a thing.
Yeah.
They met all the boys and stuff and spent time with them. But they've never watched any of it, and they understand. Cause we told them from a really young age, it's really rude, mate.
Yeah.
It's quite rude. They might. I don't know. I don't even think they will. But my oldest is 11 now. Sort of when he gets to sort of 13, 14.
Yeah, I think I was 13 when I watched it.
So curiosity might get the better of him. But we don't have. We don't have it on DVD. There's not a copy of it in the house.
It's not on Netflix, is it? Netflix will defo buy it at some point if it's not.
I think maybe.
I think it
films-
was.
the
I think it
films
might have been
been.
on Netflix. It was definitely on Netflix abroad.
Oh, right, okay.
I think. I said definitely there. I don't know.
That's a
No,
point.
at all.
Speaking of abroad, I assume you've seen. I don't know if you've seen it, the Inbetweeners US.
Oh my gosh,
they, like,
I've seen
remade
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
that
it was just like sort of
Yeah.
scene for scene remakes, but they just sort of took
It just
all
didn't.
of the.
It just didn't have
I've
the
met
pizzazz.
I've met the guy Zach. I met him. Who I think I'm sure Zach's his name. Who played Jay
Yeah.
in the American Inbetweeners.
What did he think of it?
I don't think he thought it was that good either.
Yeah.
Again, I've not seen it, and it's for a different audience, and you've got to do
Yeah,
things.
definitely.
Yeah.
But also, it was like it was such a daft thing to do, to sell the Inbetweeners to America, because
Yeah.
it was
It's
the
very
Inbetweeners was
British.
influenced. Well, no, but the Inbetweeners itself was influenced by so much American stuff. When we started doing the Inbetweeners, a lot of the references we were using was the first American Pie film, or
Yeah.
or
That
what's
makes
the
sense.
thing
Actually.
with that Seth Rogen wrote with McLovin.
Oh
in it?
yes,
Superbad.
Superbad.
Yeah.
Like that was a big.
Yes.
That was
No, you can see
big,
the
big
sort
film
of
at the
parallels
time.
with them. Yeah.
But it was about that sort of teenage, gross out comedy, but with a bit of heart, and the boys love each other in the end, deep down.
Yeah.
They were sort of all influences for that was the genre really, and then we obviously made it very British.
I'm just writing
You're taking that off.
Oh,
That
he's taking that really nice jumper off. aren't you,
literally is.
Yeah.
I was there like brewing, like okay, it's coming off now.
I'll just wrap it around my body.
Literally is useless.
Yeah, it's a useless jumper. Wonder what that means. Oh, there
Don't
we go.
throw that on the floor.
How dare you? That's such high quality fabric. What are you
just
doing?
brewing there, like I need to take it off soon.
Right. Next episode, I'll wear it.
But yeah, going back to America with the Inbetweeners, saying, "Do you want to make a version of this?" Which was a version of something from America.
Yeah,
It was all bizarre. It was all
very
weird.
bizarre.
Someone made money out of it.
What is? I mean, so obviously the show was absolutely huge. What do you think is the thing that made it that big?
No
Can
idea.
you? No idea.
You're
Otherwise,
looking at it.
I would have. No, otherwise I would have done it again. Yeah, I would have left the Inbetweeners and done something else just as successful. I never have done, and I don't think I ever will. I don't know what the.
Nah, I don't
it's
think you
all.
will.
This podcast.
Well, there we go.
Whoa,
There's
there we
that.
go, baby.
But in all seriousness, there's.
Don't be fucking stupid.
No, but there is. It's a time thing. It's a cast thing. It's the writing thing. Everything all has to be right at exactly the right time, and it's impossible to plan that.
It's so true, because I mean that sort of show, as incredible as it is, would be very difficult to get greenlit today with the exact
Possibly,
same
yeah.
level, with the same like brutality of the jokes. I think, I mean, when I've watched shows that maybe are trying to invoke that sort of similar thing nowadays, there's always a woke like aspect to it, which is great because that is
Bloody
the world.
wokies
No,
getting
but
older.
which like in my life, obviously we fully embrace that, but sometimes you want to just like go back to a show like that is purposefully
there.
out there.
It's there.
Exactly.
It's
yeah.
there. And comedy, I get this all the time. This woke thing. Oh, and I get misquoted quite a lot.
Oh God.
And I don't. I'm trying my hardest, even though I am moving into that phase in my life of not being a grumpy old man. Where I go, well, you know, we did it differently, and people just got on with it and stuff. Well,
Yeah.
But the fact is that everything evolves, and comedy especially evolves, and it's not for me or you or it's not for any of us to decide what is funny and what isn't. But it evolves, it changes. If you do want that sort of, slightly un-PC sort of sense, you can watch The Inbetweeners. It's still there, but there's no point doing it again.
Yeah.
Because people go, I'll just watch The Inbetweeners. It's always good to move with the times and do what people do, new stuff, definitely. And I'm actually really excited about the next generation. Sort of, my kids, like my two little boys, they're 10 and 11, and a lot of the people in their class all seem to have this ethos of just being a bit nicer to each other.
100%. So my little sister, she's 15, and she went to the same high school as me. My older sister went to the same high school as well. And like seeing the difference in when I was there was no chance, even if I thought I was gay, there was no chance I was ever going to come out. Like,
Right.
I literally think I'd get twatted. Whereas like in her class in like year 8, there was like boys that like, yeah, I'm gay. And it's like
Yeah.
everyone just gets on. And it is, I remember so vividly, just everybody, anytime you did anything, was so horrible, and it was kind of expected. Whereas nowadays, it's just not the same. It's
nice. I like it. I'm into it because it was. So like how I said, I was like at a little stage school when I was 8 or 9 years old. So I was fortunate that I had from that age I had homosexual friends, bisexual friends. Never seemed like a novelty or something bizarre to me. But I suppose when I then went into school, you know, working class, East London suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Probably best not.
There we go. Exactly. Keep your heads down. Yeah. Where did you grow up then?
I grew up in Dagenham.
Ah, okay, right.
So, no, you wouldn't have got on very well there. But nowadays, probably
probably
good,
all right. Yeah,
brilliant.
That's nice. Yeah, I'll wear my crop top and that suit, or that hideous suit that I've got.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That might get me twatted, actually. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. So you mentioned that. I mean, the specific lines that people come up to you and say. But is there one line that is your personal favourite from the show?
I quite like because it's really simple. It's the episode where Will shits himself in an exam.
Yeah.
And he brings his shitty pants with him to the pub. And I think it's Simon says, no one brings a bag of shit to the pub with them. And I say, your dad does. And he goes, what? Yeah, your mum. And I always thought... Did I say that right? A bag of shit. No one brings a bag of shit to the pub with them.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
It's quite bad that I'm like, no, that is the correct line.
No one brings a bag of shit to the pub with them. Your dad does.
Hilarious.
Your mum. Your mum is a bag of shit.
Can you just say that again to the camera
I think
for Mother's Day?
It took me a while to get through that line. 'Cause it's so simple, but unnecessarily harsh. I wasn't asking for it.
Yeah.
He wasn't the focal point at that point. It was meant to be this one who's brought some shit pants with him. He had nothing to do with it. He was just a bystander. Well, no one brings a bag of shit. Yeah, your mum. It's like, oh, where did that come from?
I think that's why it works so well, though, because
Yeah.
it's just what British lads just
It's
do
so
anyway.
what
Just rip the shit into each
really
other for
mean.
no reason.
Honestly, like when I look back on like the group of boys that I grew up with, it was so like that. Like it just was like out of nowhere, someone would just be the most brutal person in the world, and you'd be like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, but I think that's probably why it worked so well, is that so many people could see their friendship groups in the show.
Yeah, that's it. And you've got to enjoy it while it's someone else, because it'll be you next.
Oh my god, I remember that feeling. It's like, I'm gonna laugh extra loud now so that no one looks at me.
That was what it was like making the Inbetweeners. Like everyone had their backs up against the wall. Like, sort of like, I don't want to say or do anything right now because I'm gonna get taken the piss out of.
But you've recited that line quite well. We've come up with a game.
Yeah.
To see how well you can actually remember these lines.
Okay. I didn't really learn the lines at the time. It was a bit of a thing.
Well, you're going to do bad then, aren't you?
I got into trouble quite a lot. Whereas I already mentioned how long the boys had spent writing these scripts.
Oh, yeah.
And my thing that I kept saying them was, well, it's the gist. They're like, we have been to so many meetings with Channel 4 and we've spent months and months. Can we not get the gist? Can you just do what is actually written? Okay, all right, yeah.
Right, so a little game of finish the quote.
Okay.
What are 3 things that Jay said you need to know about Dutch birds?
No idea. I know that he says. Oh, what is it?
Is it Will's like? I think I know the line.
I'm thinking of they shit down. My
Yeah,
arm
that's
when I
the.
fingered-
Will be like, oh, what you do? You're 13, like go through clogs or something, and then.
I fingered one and she shit down my arm.
I remember watching that for the first time.
I need to rewatch this show.
Well, I'll tee you up with the first one.
Go
The
on.
first thing you need to know about Dutch birds is they're hairy.
They're hairy. There's something else, and they don't mind if you wipe it on the carpets. On the curtains.
Yeah.
On the curtains. They don't mind if you wipe it on the curtains.
They're hairy.
don't
They
know.
like it dirty. They don't mind if you wipe it.
They like it dirty.
That's insane. Right.
What was Jay's thoughts on D.O.V.? He said you got to be fucking joking.
Something about Prince Charles. Or something.
Kind of.
I won't remember it.
You got to be fucking joking. There's no way I'm. getting bumped.
Why did you just look at me when you said that?
We just need to make sure if it's okay.
How dare you?
That seemed worse. That was more like seeing if you'd get it. I was just looking at Max, but then the next line is getting bummed by some royal bloke on a mountain.
Right.
Oh, story of my life.
This one, I'd be so impressed if you remembered,
Okay.
like the order of these. The list of things that you could do on a mental holiday together. So we can all go on a mental holiday together. 2 weeks of.
Oh, it's sun, sea, sex, sand.
B.
It's like
booze.
Yeah.
There was a load of takes of that. I think they cut it down as well. There was like felching and stuff.
Oh my god!
Like I was just allowed to list pretty much anything I wanted.
Oh my god!
I know I said sex, minge, fanny, tits, booze, and sex, and fanny and tits. Like I just kept saying the same thing over and over again.
That is pretty much word for word what's written down there.
Wow, well done. Next one. This girl's so wet for me.
I can hear the waves breaking in her fanny. Lucy. So I was looking at my manager, Lucy. I don't know why I just fixed eyes on her. But anyway, keep it down.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
This one's in line with when he shits himself. The Lion, the Witch.
Oh, and the specky twat. And the specky twat who shit himself. Is that it? Doesn't make any sense. The Lion, the Witch, and the specky twat who shit himself. Got nothing to. There's no pun there.
Oh god.
I love that.
It's quite good, the Inbetweeners, isn't it?
It's
I might watch it.
Yeah. Last one. What's this?
Oh, this is just to throw you under the bus. Charlotte says, "Go on then, funny man, make me laugh."
Oh, and then I do the.
Go on. What happens after
No,
that?
no, I didn't even. I was furious about doing it at the time. I didn't like doing it at the time.
Oh, the crazy frog impression.
Yeah.
That was wild.
It's probably.
Did they give you pointers, or was that just your impression of the crazy frog?
That was my impression of it. Imagine that, us talking about the crazy frog. I mean, that is dated the in-between. Out of all of those awful, disgusting jokes, the one thing that dates it the most is the crazy frog reference.
Oh my gosh. So the films, they were also hugely successful.
Pretty good, yeah, pretty big films.
Was that like any different to when you filmed the series? Like, did it feel different, or
is it exactly the same? We had most of the same crew, obviously the same writers. Obviously, we were there. It was just the same as making the TV show, but we spent a bit more time doing it, basically.
Yeah.
And we were abroad.
Well, that'll be why it came across so similarly to the series then. Because you can imagine that they would have tried to throw way more budget and like way more like.
Yeah, that would have ruined it, I think, if they tried to make it more of like a spectacle.
I mean, there was a bit of ambition. It
didn't come through.
It was there, really, really deep down.
Yeah, in the credits.
Look closely.
Use a different font in the credits.
In the first film, I think the opening shot is like, or one of the opening shots, like comes from the sky. We were trying to sort of parody, I think, Harry Potter at the time.
Yeah.
Where it comes from the sky and then floats down and then goes through the window and then you're in the room and stuff like that. Which obviously no one appreciated because that wasn't what they were there to watch. Like they weren't at the Inbetweeners to watch the cinematography. And then we did do another thing where I did this huge monologue, like at the start of the second film, which took 3 days to shoot.
Oh, that's a very good.
And it's all shot but cut cleverly, so it looks like one shot.
Yeah.
And it's about 3 minutes long or something, and there's loads of stuff going on, and hitting cricket balls and stuff like that. So I guess that was a bit ambitious. That's as far as we went. But other than that, it was just down to business, wasn't it? It was just shit and puke and penises and stuff.
Such a funny job to have, and like you say, it must be such a bizarre moment in your life to look back and be like, my full-time job at that point was to just say the most ridiculous things in the world.
Well, yeah, it was brilliant. There was loads of moments where you catch yourself. Like I remember standing in the middle of the outback in the Australian desert with no one around us, just looking at Blake holding a fake penis pissing into Joe's mouth. I was like, this is weird, isn't it? This is really odd.
Oh my god! What a
It's
time
a real
to be
sort
alive.
of fleshy.
Oh! I remember that so vividly. Everybody in the cinema was like, "Oh my god, you see the bell end!"
Yeah.
I remember like looking at everyone. Oh my god, you can see the bell
It
end.
was
This
really
is wild.
detailed. I don't know what happened to that.
That should be in a museum.
It'll be
somewhere.
on someone's mantelpiece. Someone will
Yeah.
have that. Either Ian and Damon will have that in their living room, I reckon.
That's incredible. One more game before we finish up on all the Inbetweener stuff, if that's
Sure.
okay with you. George came up with this game. If you want to give it a good intro.
It's just a nice way to sort of ease your kids into the Inbetweeners.
Right.
We're going to give you a quote and we just sort of try and make it a bit more PG from Jay.
Oh, we're going to take a J quote
Yeah.
or an in-betweeners
And try
quote
to make
and
it
try
more
and
family
try to
See,
friendly.
make
I'm
it
better the other
PG.
way around. I'm going to be awful at this.
So the first quote is, "I wouldn't worry about me, mate. I'm up to my neck in sluts at the moment."
Don't worry about me, mate.
It's a nice way to say that.
Well, don't fret about me.
Say if one of your children came over to you and said that,
Yeah.
how would you tell them to maybe switch it around
I
and
would
make it
say-
more
I'd
approachable?
say don't worry about me. I'm doing very well with the ladies, thank you.
Ah,
Nice.
okay, very
There
nice.
you go.
Although that was sexist, I just assume sluts means ladies. It could mean anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone can be a slut.
Absolutely.
Don't let them tell you
Mechanicsaurus.
otherwise.
Next one. Yeah, just tell her how you feel. Worst that could happen, you get stinky fingers.
That's a challenging one, I think, too.
Yeah, I'm trying to work
Yeah.
that one out myself. Maybe.
So it starts off nicely.
Yeah.
What is it? Just tell her how you feel.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
tell her how
worst
you
that could
feel.
happen.
Worst
You
that
get
could
stinky
Just
fingers.
tell her how you feel. The worst that can happen.
Now it becomes a
happen.
problem.
Yeah, a bit difficult to get around this one, isn't it? Worst that can happen, bring antibacterial gel with you.
The worst that can happen is you might need a bit of hand sanitizer.
There we
There
go.
you go.
There we go.
Very
Very
nice.
COVID friendly as well. Thank you.
Doesn't hit as hard though. That.
No, it didn't. Go on, George.
Oh,
next
this one will be very challenging,
Oh
I
my
think, to
God,
make PG. In the gob, then into the vag, out the vag, and back into the gob again.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I just didn't remember it being this crazy. So imagine you're a teacher and you're teaching sexual education.
Absolutely.
And this is the exact graphic that you
is
need
one
to
of the
explain
moves.
to the children.
In the gob.
How have you brought this into a school?
I
Wow.
don't know. I'm just trying to think of a family friendly place.
Okay, so I mean you can't make that PG, can you? But you can. So, what is it? Is it
Into
in
the
the
gob.
in the gob first? Okay, so
Yes.
so start with fellatio,
Ah, yes.
move on to
Penetrative.
vaginal penetration, then back to fellatio again.
Yes.
That's just for you
Very
audio
nice.
listeners.
Yep. Just for the audio listeners. God.
These are so bad.
Next one. Will
There's more.
says. Oh yeah.
Oh,
unfortunately. Unfortunately, we're here all day. Will says. So what's the plan? Jay says we go in there, buy some drinks, and wait for the gash to come and form an orderly queue.
Okay,
Been there.
we'll go in there. Buy some drinks. That's fine.
Yes.
Absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
It's just the gash forming an orderly clue where the key where the problem arises.
Okay, we'll go in there, we'll buy some drinks, take a seat, and I'm sure the ladies will notice us.
Hey.
Nice.
There we go.
See,
Very
Jay
nice.
seems like such a nice person.
Yeah, he
now.
does.
He is.
How
He's
nice.
just misquoted. He just gets a,
Yeah.
he just gets a bit confused.
He's misunderstood. All right, last one, George. Go on.
You're desperate for a gum job. oh, hello, I'm Will. Put your teeth out, Doris, and have a little nosh on this. As you said, just misquoted. He's a lovely man.
Yeah, you're desperate for a gum job. Pop your little teeth out.
Hello, I'm Will. Put your teeth out, Doris, and have a little nosh on this.
Pop your
Little
teeth out.
I'm so glad it's not little teeth.
Yeah, pop your teeth out, Doris, and have a little nosh on this. Well, nosh is food, isn't it?
Yes. Gobble.
So
know if
obviously,
gobble makes it better.
I can't remember the what happens exactly in that episode, but is it the
think
old
it's the
people's
ice
The old
cream.
people's home.
Oh,
No,
is
the
it
old
the ice
people's
cream
home.
lady?
So Jay, from what I remember, I think Jay's there and he's trying to make Doris, who's an old lady that lives there, some lunch, and he's blended it for her, so she can pop her teeth out and she can have a little nosh on it.
Oh, that's very.
So
what a
there's not
sweet boy.
that's not actually rude, any of that.
No.
That's just you. That's you. That's your
That's
dirty
you.
mind.
Yeah, you're projecting.
If I remember rightly, I might be wrong.
What was the last bit about? So a lot of people call for another series or another film. Would you be up for it? And do you think that the other cast members would be up for it?
You're right. We've never spoken about it. We've never even. It's never been part of a conversation at all.
I think
Okay.
it stops at a nice place.
I
And
think we took
you
it as
wouldn't-
far as we
yeah.
did. I think I really liked the second film. I think that's
So
probably
good.
I'd argue the second one was
it
maybe
was my,
better than the
it was
first
my
one.
favourite one to make, so that's why I might be a bit biased. But I think people didn't like the second. I think it's generally accepted that people didn't like the second film as much as the first.
Oh, that's what I meant. I hate the second film.
But so that's when it's like, okay,
Yeah.
we'll stop now. Then we and I mean, we weren't like, oh yeah, good for you guys. Stopping, quit
Yeah.
while you're
Yeah.
ahead of the. No, we would have taken that.
Yeah.
We would still be doing it now if we thought that we could still do it as
Show the
good.
progression
Yeah.
of them.
But we can't run out of jokes in the end. And
Only so many times you can say clunge.
exactly, there is. So that's all it would be, really. I can't imagine. It would just be either same, but maybe not as good. And I don't think any of us really like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
But it's great that people still ask me, can you do more?
Yeah.
It's really brilliant.
Yeah. And in your mind, where is Jay now?
Jay, he's probably. Do you know what? I reckon he's doing all right. I reckon he's got some kind of because I think his dad. I might be wrong about this. I think his dad had his own sort of building firm or something like that.
They had many different jobs according to Jay.
Well, yeah. But I think, I think he probably got a trade, did some apprenticeship or something like that, and he's probably doing all right now.
Do you think he's settled down?
Well,
Can you keep a man like that down?
yeah, I mean, I, when I was growing up, I had friends like him. And,
And where are they now?
they have their own businesses, and they have wives and kids and stuff like that. But they were fucking mental. When they were kids. So yeah, I think you do, and that's the thing as well. So like Jay would be in his 30s,
Yeah.
and he'd probably just be a normal bloke now. So it wouldn't.
What a great series that would
Yeah,
be.
exactly.
It just turned into a drama.
Oh, that's
Right.
great. I mean, you've got so many things that you've done since then. One
Couple
being
of things.
a couple of I
done
mean, you've
much.
got your podcast as well.
Oh yeah,
that we're
of
here
course,
to
yeah.
talk about.
That's right. That was it. That's what I'm talking about. Love Islanders.
Yeah.
You go on, you talk about Love Island for a bit, and then you mention the thing that you want to talk about afterwards.
So, anybody who doesn't know, let them know about the podcast, how it came about.
Yeah. Well, everyone's doing a podcast these days.
They
it
are
seems.
indeed. Some
so,
of them are so shit, aren't they? Oh, God, yeah.
So it seemed
That
that
time a good one came around.
Yeah.
it seemed like a good idea. It's something that me and my wife do. We have a YouTube channel where we sort of vlog. We started that in lockdown, and it seemed to be quite popular for a little while. When people had nothing better to do, when they really needed some entertainment. I mean, the channel could do with another lockdown. I got to be honest. That was really. that
There you
was
go, wait
really
to tell the
help us out.
podcast.
Subscribe.
But yeah, it was off the back of that, of us vlogging together, that we were approached and asked if we fancied doing a podcast, and now we do, and I really really enjoy it because we don't handle any of the when we're vlogging on YouTube, it's like edited by us and
Oh, you
shot
do the
by
editing
us.
as
Yeah,
well? Oh, wow.
no one does anything.
Yeah.
The thumbnails, the titles, we do everything.
That's impressive.
Only because we can't. I can't let that raw footage.
So you're saying your entire career would be over?
Yeah,
Right, okay.
we got to keep it all in house.
Understood.
And Claire does protect me a lot. She does a
Yeah.
lot of the editing, and a lot of stuff I fight for. Like we do stuff, and I go, "That's really funny. You got to keep that in." And she goes, "I think it will cancel you." Okay.
Just say it was Jay. Just say it was Jay.
So we can't like ship it out to an editor to do. But with the podcast, what's really great is that it is all taken care of. So all me and Claire have to do is turn up, sit down in front of the microphone, and we can just talk about all the stuff that annoys us, all the stuff that we hate about each other. Also, I like to say that it is. I know that it's quite in vogue for couples to have a podcast, or married couples to have a podcast. They're too happy. I've listened to a couple of them.
Very true.
They're too cheerful.
Yeah.
That's not.
So if you're looking for a depressing hour and a half,
No, it's not depressing at all. It's just more of an honest representation of what two people who have been married for over 10 years, how they talk to each other.
Yeah.
And what they think about each other. Which
I've
I think
seen
is
some clips.
which I think is way more fun.
Yeah, your wife she's great. She's like,
She's all right, yeah.
literally like hilarious. She will just straight up be like, no, and this is why, and this is like how I think of it. And
She doesn't. She's got no time for fools, and unfortunately for her, she's married the biggest fool, which I really love, and that's where it all came about, really, because she doesn't, like I say, she doesn't entertain foolish people, and one of my favourite things to do in the world is wind her up.
Yeah.
And I just thought, if I can get this on camera and start vlogging this, me being an idiot and you getting annoyed with it, I think people would really like that.
Yeah.
So it's all started from there, and we brought a book out as well at one point, and it's nuts. It's insane what you can do these days.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
How have you found the YouTube stuff? Because I saw you started off like with the gaming.
Yeah, I really like it. I like to think of myself as not being in early, but certainly taking notice of what people were doing on YouTube quite early, and I found it really interesting and really exciting. And I was working in television at the time, obviously, and I think for a long time there was a sort of there was a bit of a snobbery around
like traditional media looking
YouTubers
down on
But I was really flying the flag. I was going, no, you got to check these people out. They're really like not even just funny, but just genuinely quite interesting and quite. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm quite nosy. I just quite like knowing what's going on in people's lives and what kettle they use and things like that.
Smeg.
But
Whoa, come on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh God.
sorry, do I need a shout?
Yes, please.
Okay. No, so and it's really, I think it's brilliant what people do on YouTube, and it cuts out the middleman. It cuts out the gatekeepers, and you get with these incredible people like yourselves that come up with stuff and don't have a gatekeeper, don't have someone there saying you can't do that, or or if you do want to do that, you have to do it more like this and and that's not that. After a while, that's not much fun when you get people telling you what you should and shouldn't do over something that you're really passionate about. So these YouTubers, they're just they're the punk rock stars of today, because they don't answer to anyone. They don't have to.
Man.
And then
Have you seen them? No.
But you know what I mean. But you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean.
But also they end up in Lamborghinis half the time and stuff like that. And you just go, good for them. Good on you.
100%.
Didn't do what I did, which was turn up to meetings at broadcasters and go, oh, would you mind putting me on the television? And you feel daft turning up to those meetings. Oh, please let me on the television. No, they just fucking went out and did it themselves, and I'd love that. Absolutely love that.
It's very true. I know you're good friends with Joe Sogg, who we're friends with. He owns our management, and I've had so many conversations with him about the exact same thing. Like, we've been in like huge TV companies that had meetings, and ultimately they're just going to go with somebody who's like been on the TV like 20 times, instead of like thinking of like a really good idea that maybe a YouTuber or a TikToker or something has. And Joe is also really passionate, because obviously that's like where he came from, about exactly what you just said, which is that so many people on social media are taking it into their own hands and possibly even have bigger and better ideas than what these huge networks have, who ultimately, even if you bring, in my experience, a good idea to like a network like that, it ultimately has to get the approval from like some like boring guy at the top.
It's really so complicated, unnecessarily complicated. And it's funny you should say that about Joe, because he's the loveliest bloke in the world.
Lovely.
I can't imagine like Joe having a fight or something like that. Like, do you know what I mean?
I tried to fight him, and he didn't put up much of one.
And we've been kicking around this project for a good, I think, over a year now, trying to get some and again, we're both really passionate about this thing. We both think it's a really great idea that people would really love. It'd be super simple to make, wouldn't cost a fortune, but just be really interesting about a subject that we really like. And it's dragging on and on and on.
Yeah.
And Joe, like, I got a text from Joe. It was just like, fuck it, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah.
But that was like, I'd never seen Joe talk like that. It's like, whoa, all right,
It does make sense because you both got a big enough profile to
He
be
was
able
like-
to just
I
do
was
it
a
on
bit-
YouTube or something.
It takes you
I felt
back
a bit
some-
sexy.
Yeah, I
I
know.
was
Exactly. Literally, I had an
I
experience.
didn't know you could be like this, Joe.
I had an experience with him, and he like swore it was like a movie premiere or something, and it was when I'd like just like recently signed to the management, and I think if you saw my kind of similar to like what you go through, I guess if you saw my content or like especially my older content, you would think that I'm more like crazy and like out there. So.
Sure.
Joe, bless him, must have thought like at the time, oh, I'll say something a bit like crazy to like, you know, to like get on his wavelength. And we were at, I think it was the Avatar movie premiere, and
Subtle flex.
and and I'd just gone to the
That
toilet
was
or
about
something.
20 years ago, wasn't it?
No, sorry, the new one.
Oh,
New
okay.
one, yeah.
Yes, I was
Yeah,
4
my
years
mum
old.
had a pram.
I remember it well. And I was like, oh, because I was just talking to him. He was like, oh, I'm just gonna go. I went, oh, where you going? He went, I'm just gonna go and have a piss out my dick. And I went, Joe Sugg. And then he was like, ooh, and just walked off. And I was like, that is brilliant. But literally,
Was
like
he
you
drunk?
said, yeah, I think he'd had a
Yeah.
been on the cooking sherry, I think.
Yeah.
But it literally, like you said, I was like, oh, go on then, Joe Sugg, yeah. Hit me. Go
Yeah.
on, do it.
He does get a bit merry, Joe, doesn't he?
How did you meet him?
Through I liked his stuff, and we followed this years ago. We followed each other on Twitter, and I noticed he followed me, and I think I sent him a message saying, "Oh mate, I really like your stuff. You're really good." And then we just sort of would tweet each other once in a while, and then we started playing video games together online, and we just sort of we bonded over video games. Really, that was the thing that we had in common the most. And we're similar age. I think I'm older than him. I'm much older than him.
No, I think
I'm
he's
about half a decade older than him.
No,
aren't
He's
I
like
don't think you are. How old are you?
30?
36.
No, he's 31, I think.
Oh, there you
isn't
go,
he?
5 years. Yeah.
32.
32.
Oh, he's 32.
Oh, is he 32?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which games did you like playing?
We still do. We haven't done it for a while actually, but we like to do like a Friday evening thing on Twitch. And we play like horror games and
Oh my gosh, they
Minecraft
terrify
and
me.
stuff like that.
There used to be
That's
this
the point of
one.
them.
Yeah, there was this one. Weirdly, actually, me and my friend. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So before I would go to like house parties with my friends when I was in like year 10, they would come around to my house. We'd watch the Inbetweeners, and then whilst we were pre-drinking, they'd make me play this horror game because they knew that I'd just shit myself, and they just enjoy. I think I was like probably like the will of the group. I'm guessing that's the vibe. And yeah, they were just watching. It was called Outlast or something.
Yeah.
Outlast, yeah.
Outlast.
Yeah.
Oh my god, terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I hate those games. What's it called? Five Nights at Freddy's. Have you played that?
Yeah.
Oh.
My kids are obsessed with that.
Yes, there's like
And
a
they're really
really
young.
Yeah, people love it.
They're really young. But
Oh.
there's a film coming out next month.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
What, 5 Nights already?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it looks amazing. I hate
does look
horror
really
movies,
good.
but I really want to watch it.
I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy from Hunger Games is in it. What's he called? Peter. He plays Peter. Josh Hutcherson.
Peter.
Peter. I don't know why I,
think
said
that's
it like that.
Family Guy.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Right, okay, right, we've covered the YouTube. YouTube's very interesting. I mean, like, I think George has, like, absolutely smashed it. I started to do it, and...
I have.
and I'm, like, I'm fucking renovating a house at the minute. I'm living in hell, so I'm going to be doing, like, as soon as I've finished all that, I'm planning to, like, get started on it again.
Be filming about that.
I know, but I do TikToks on it, and then I just think...
fair enough.
Yeah,
There is funny stuff. There's like... Cause
Oh,
obviously,
yeah.
I mean, I say funny for people watching.
Yeah.
For you, there's going to be
Hell,
genuine
yeah.
disasters.
Oh, I'm having
and
a horrible
awful,
time.
Yeah.
Just this morning, a leak came through the roof and the roof collapsed.
See, that's it. So
I'm
as
having a
long-
great
but as long
morning,
as you're
yeah.
channeling that into
Yeah.
something creative that people can enjoy, it's brilliant. It's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
That's sort of where one of my first big things on TikTok came out was a random. My dad was. I'd just come back from uni, and my dad was like, "Oh, George, there's this beep in the garage that I have no idea where it's coming from." And I was like, oh, I haven't got a video idea for today. I'll just film myself trying to find
a beep. Brilliant.
Couldn't find it. I think I made like 5 or 6
Did you ever
episodes.
find it?
The really annoying thing is I think I said I had like a cumulative like 4 hours
carbon monoxide alarm.
His family unfortunately passed away. Yeah.
My dad came in and I was just gone down. No, I think I'd spent like an accumulative like 4 hours searching for this thing, made like 4 or 5 videos out of it. Genuinely wasn't dragging it out. Couldn't find it. And then the one time my sister came in, heard it once, just goes, "Oh, it's over there," and just pointed at like the cross trainer or something. And I was like, I've checked it, Em. It's not the cross trainer. The batteries are out. It's not that. She leaves the room, and I was like, it might be the cross trainer. Check it. It just is that.
It's so true. People love stuff like that, like just genuine everyday moments that are probably quite a massive inconvenience for somebody, but like post it on the internet and someone will find joy in your pain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here we are. That's interesting then. So, and I really like what you said about how, I mean, you've started, like, you've got your podcast, you've got YouTube, you do Twitch and everything like that, and you've kind of taken the control back in, like, in your career, basically.
A little bit, yeah. It's just nice to, like you say, it's nice to have it's nice to not have to rely on other people to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to go out and get it done yourself, and learning to edit and to film and to add music to things, and like these are all really great skills, and ones that I was genuinely interested to learn after sort of spending so long just sat in front of a camera, and then just that goes off and then ends up on the television or whatever.
Yeah.
I was a bit like, oh, is there some more steps before this goes off? And then you start looking into directing and stuff like that, and you know, that's possibly something that I'd love to do at some point.
I was going to ask you, is that like a goal of yours?
I'd love to. Yeah, I've done. I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of really great directors, like especially in sitcoms and comedic directors, and a lot of the times I do sort of talk to them before we do the scene, like just ask them, you know, what are the setups and what shots. And when I was doing a show called Zapped, the director Dave, I would chat with him and he'd say to me, "What would you do?" And I'd say, "Well, I'd maybe do a 2 here and and he was like, you've got really good instincts as a director, and so that would be, you know, but again, fucking getting the chance. I mean, so you just do it yourself, didn't you?
It's true. Crazy. So Cameo is, I mean, we love Cameo. Are you on Cameo?
I used to be.
Yeah, me too. I've not done it in ages.
But yeah, then I was like, it's weird because it is a lot of effort. Like when
really?
if you come, no, that's what I mean. It's not. But
George is jaded. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, so much effort.
I hate
30 seconds.
I hate in my head. I was like, oh, these people are paying for something that isn't a lot of effort, so I try and put more effort in, and then I get in my head about making it like 2 minutes long or something, and I'm like, is that enough money? Is that like your money's worth now?
Yeah.
So I just stopped doing it because I was like, this is just.
But yeah, you talked yourself out.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay, George. We're not judging you here. So, what is the craziest thing, or like the most common, and the most common things that you get asked to record on Cameo?
I tell you what, so most common's birthdays and weddings.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Like, and I love the wedding ones because it is always, you know.
What, they'll get like played on like a projector?
Yeah, they get played on the projector and stuff, and I've seen reactions to them, and they are really fun because it's like, you know, I'll talk to the groom and I'll be like, oh, don't worry, mate, I'll teach you how to do this.
That's amazing.
You'll be able to guarantee your new wife's clunge a lifetime of happiness. They're always really good fun. The strangest requests, and I've had a few of these, are, and I don't know whether they're jokes or not, and I find it difficult to not do it while laughing.
Yeah.
Are, hi James, me and my girlfriend have just had a row, and I just want to let her know that I'm really, really sorry, and can you try and convince her to take me back? And I'm like, is this real?
This getting that like sent through just like a link on your text, being like, what's this all about?
I'm like, this has to be a joke. Like, this has to be a joke, because I don't think getting Jay from the Inbetweeners to convince the girl that you've pissed off
is the best move.
So I say it like that. I go, I don't know whether this is a joke or not, but he says he's sorry. Oh, sorry. And you know, I've got to be honest, I don't know whether he's taking this relationship very seriously. He's getting me to do apology videos for him. But whatever you decide is your decision. I'm not going to sway you either way. But if you do
Yeah.
give them a chance, I'll send you down the caravan club or something.
You get really weird. But how many do you do like a day, or is it like a?
I do minimum of 25
A day.
minimum?
Yeah.
Wow.
Would you, how long does that take
That's
you?
incredible.
I do. I spend about 10 minutes as soon as I wake up in the morning. Another 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes in the afternoon, and then another 10 minutes while I'm waiting outside.
Not
my kids'
wanking.
school.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
not.
I'm so sorry.
Where did that come from?
I realised that you said waiting outside school as well, and that really upset me.
Why have you? Where's that come from?
I don't know.
That seemed
so sorry.
that seemed unnecessary.
That'll cost extra. That's a whole different thing. That's my
Waiting
OnlyFans.
outside school.
Just to be
I'm
clear, I'm
mortified.
envisioning this one thing. You weren't wanking. Were you?
I wasn't wanking, I promise you. Although if I could make money doing that, I'd be
Yeah.
so fucking wealthy. No one's going to want to watch me wank.
No, you'd be
For the audio listeners,
OnlyFans is-
James's manager is just literally like saying absolutely not off camera. Yeah.
If you could make that money on Cameo, you could make like a killing
Oh,
on,
so
much.
on OnlyFans.
No.
Imagine doing like personalised messages
With a snorkel on.
It's a film. It's a film.
Thing is, I always say I'd have to pay people to look at my naked body.
Absolutely, yeah. No one wants to
Oh
see
my
that.
God.
do that as well.
Yeah, I do. Christmas is a great time for my family. No, I once.
I was talking about
recorded-
me, by the way, when I said no one wants to see that.
Oh right. Oh, I fully just. I just took it on board. I was like, yeah, you're
I was
right.
like, hang on a minute. No,
I was like, yes,
see that.
yeah, I
No,
couldn't agree
I
more.
was talking about me.
It's okay. It's fine either way, to be honest. I once
do agree with
recorded.
that, Max. Ooh.
I once recorded me having sex with my boyfriend, and I was mortified when I saw it back. I was like,
When
I
you were
didn't know.
recording, was you both
Oh, like, put the
w-
camera-
Yeah, was you both like, this is going to look so
Oh
hot
yeah,
when
we were
we
like,
watch
this is gonna
back."
be legendary. This is like, if it all goes tits up, OnlyFans, we're gonna take it by storm. Watched it back. It were like two seals rubbing their bodies together. Honestly, it was. I would go as far to say vile. It was horrific. The sweat dripping off.
How did you think it would go?
I thought that I thought we looked amazing. I thought, this is going to be like the heat, the passion.
Really passionate.
Even the walk to and from the camera is enough. for me
That
to
was
just think,
by
"Don't
far
do
the
it."
worst part, to be honest. Put it down. Just look at me like,
Is it on?
oh my God. Honestly, like when you look at yourself in the mirror, even if you're naked, you see it from like a downward perspective. Seeing it head on, terrify you.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah,
Oh
no,
my
thank
God!
you.
Every bump, every bit of sagging skin, it really just.
Well, send it
Awful.
to me and I'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah. I should start doing those on Cameo. Actually, maybe we'll see.
God.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh, you do so many a day then. That's what people don't realize about Cameo is, and I mean, that's why I always tell people to go on it. It can become such a big source of income. When I first started doing this, I did not have any respect as far as like brands getting involved. No self-respect either. But Cameo, I would get like, that was like my main source of income at the time.
Right.
Like it was amazing.
Yeah,
Love
if you
that
do
for
it
you.
properly.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can. And I do. See, the thing is I either do something or I don't. I don't do things half-assed like even bizarre. There's stuff that I should do properly,
You don't.
so I don't. And I do have my priorities are sort of a bit backwards sometimes, but like I say, if someone's chucking me 40 quid to say happy birthday to them, I'm going to make sure that I do it properly.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Do you have like a little checklist of little quotes you need to throw in?
I just make sure I hit them all with all the big quotes. I just make sure they're all in there, and people seem to love them. And I do. It is only 40 quid. I know people charge like hundreds on that thing. But
Oh yeah, some people charge like 300, like
Yeah.
400
Yeah.
quid.
it is what it is. It's a 45-second video. You
Yeah.
just say hello and happy birthday.
That's
and
amazing. Where I'm from, that's a decent night out, 40 quid.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, why not? So James's podcast, In Sickness and in Health.
Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. at
Unreal.
all,
I
did
just realised right now
Did I
that
mention? I didn't. No,
I just
no,
realised
no.
right now that we didn't say the name, so I thought I'd just get it out there. It's
Yeah, thanks.
amazing. You're going to be. I mean, like he just said, he doesn't do anything half-assed, so he's going for it.
That's it. Yeah.
There we are. Well, I think it's fair to say that you passed the interview round. What do you
brilliant.
think, George?
You will be making it to the trial shift.
Yeah, so
Great.
this, I mean, your life has led to this moment. This is possibly your peak. So, really just dive in head
take it
first,
in.
I would
Can't
say.
wait.
Take
Yeah.
it all in.
Absolutely. Like me in that awful sex
Ooh,
video.
God,
Yeah.
take it all in. No.
No, I meant dive in. Oh my, I'm upset either way. Right, okay, moving on.
Yeah,
So,
we'll move on to a trial shift where
Yes.
we now we get sent in dilemmas from our viewers.
they're very troubled.
Yeah, and the reason it's called the Useless Hotline is because we give useless advice, as we
Yeah.
are in no way capable of being able to give anything
Absolutely
good.
not. Well, we have I'll just send it to print now. We've got a dilemma. I've just had an email in.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I'll send it to your computer,
All right.
and if you could, can you just press send to the printer for me?
Any old button will do.
There we go.
Honestly.
Yeah, there we go. Print screen. There we go. Yeah, perfect. Wow, look at this. See, real working printer.
That's brilliant.
Okay.
It is, isn't it? Thank you.
I've got one of those at home.
Right, we can test your reading skills as well, if that's
Oh,
okay.
no, I'm awful at
Oh,
reading.
you can't be worse than me. Don't you worry. So.
This is not even a dilemma. This is just a flex from them, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading it first before I say things out loud. Hi, boys.
Hi.
Hello.
At first glance, I know this might not seem like a dilemma, but I promise it is. I've been with my girlfriend for 5 months.
Flex.
She's my first ever girlfriend, and I lost my virginity to her.
Nice.
Sounds nice.
Yeah.
Three... Sorry. I thought of a joke then, but it's not gonna happen. 3 or so weeks ago, she gave me my first blowjob.
Oh, okay.
And I guess she noticed how much I enjoyed it, because now, wherever we go, she gives me one.
Oh, what a horrible dilemma.
Wherever we go.
Wherever we go.
Wherever we go. Like, we're at a club, and we find a place to sneak off. We're in the grocery store, and we do it in the car after. I'm in a Zoom meeting, and she's under my desk.
That's mad. That's
Yeah.
mental.
I wasn't complaining, duh, until yesterday. We were at my parents' for dinner, and she gave me the eyes.
Oh, God.
You often give me the blowjob.
I
eyes,
do,
don't you?
yes.
We're doing a podcast. Come on.
While we were at the dinner table, we went to the bathroom, and I don't think she noticed the look of disapproval from my parents, but I did.
Oh, my God.
How do I bring it up with her without her thinking that she's bad at it or stopping completely? She's quite sensitive. Sincerely, a man with some very empty balls. Listen, man, the problem there is, right? The problem there is that you have flown too close to the sun, my friend. All right, you were loving it. It was great. You get the eyes. You've managed to find the one person in the world that likes giving blowjobs, apparently. Because anyone that says that they do is lying.
Yeah.
Because, why would you? So yeah, you're gonna have to get on with that. I mean, if your parents
just don't say no.
either have the blowjobs on tap or have disapproved parents, you can't have both.
No, you can't.
I was at one point during that story, which sounds like it's from some fairy tale. I thought he was going to say, "Oh, we did it with my parents," and my dad shook my hand afterwards. And my mum patted her on the back.
What on earth?
No, listen, you've
Just learn to say no.
too much of
Yeah.
a good thing. Too much of a good
Absolutely.
thing. You can have too much of a good
As
thing.
Cheryl Cole once said, too much of anything will make you sick.
I don't know if they were sick afterwards.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
But
That is wild.
how did you? I don't understand. How would you even go about that conversation when you're all at the table eating? Just, we both need the toilet now.
That was from Joe Sugg.
After
Shout out
she
you
does
and
a
Diane.
dance, like she just walks in. That is, that's
I
crazy.
had an awful joke then. That I'm not going to
Oh my
go
God, what were you going to say?
It was to do with Diane's surname, but we are not going to.
Something well.
Somewhat well. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I hope-
Diane is a respectable woman. How dare you? Okay. Let's keep it PG. Anyway, how many times in a day do you reckon he got sucked off then?
What? This is unnecessary, isn't it?
That's wild. Okay. I mean, consent is important.
Well,
and
I
it
think they were
sounds to me.
consenting.
Well, it sounds to me like if you are at dinner with your parents, that's not a very, sexually appealing situation.
Speak for
So,
yourself, mate.
I've
well, yeah.
got exactly what he needs to say to keep this gravy train going.
Oh,
Gravy train.
I don't know if gravy was involved. Maybe.
I don't know if I like your terminology.
So he's worried about bringing it up because she's quite sensitive.
Mm.
So what you say is you go, listen, the thing that my parents, we've got to stop that. You can't give me the eyes of my parents because I love it. And when you give me the eyes, there's no way I'm going to be able to say no. I'm not going to be able to say no, so I need you to and then maybe, just build things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Get a bit of tension.
Nice.
I mean, you can't just keep releasing that tap all the time.
Absolutely
You're killing the,
Yeah.
Just pay James on Cameo and he'll say it for you.
Yeah.
Just sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is an option.
Sort the relationships out.
Cameo.com/Buckstagram. 40 quid.
That is definitely an option.
But yeah, it doesn't sound like he has that much of a problem, to be honest with you.
No, I think he's a bit of a show off, to be honest.
I think he is, yeah. I hate him.
Yeah, grow up. Oh my gosh, I can hear the phone ringing, can you?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Wow,
Crazy.
my gosh.
Crazy. Right in the ears.
Right, what are your instincts telling you to do now? This is an interview, by the way.
Oh,
Wow, right.
Wow.
Wow, we'll write that down, that's so great.
Intuitive.
Yeah.
So I went to a work party once and I got kind of drunk and I began talking to this girl and I got really cringy and I kept kind of just like screaming at her, but she was sober and it was really embarrassing. And then later on that day I went up to her and I was like, "You okay?" And she was with her whole team and she was like, "Yeah, I'm fine, why wouldn't I be?" And they all laughed at me and it was awful. And then I saw her in the office the next week and I like kind of jumped because I was kind of like, "Oh, this is awkward," and I spilt a boiling hot kettle of water like all over the floor and she nearly slipped in it. And I was like, okay, I need to stop being weird around her. So then I went to use the printer and she had a pile of papers in the top. I didn't see them. I pulled the top of the printer up to scan something and they all fell behind the printer and I was like on my hands and knees cleaning it up. So now I think I just need to leave my job because I'm so embarrassed. It's off.
I feel like I need to take notes through that.
Right,
I was
okay.
struggling to follow.
So basically, every time she seems to be around this one girl, she's embarrassing herself.
Has she got a crush on this
I
girl?
don't think so. I think she's just highly intimidated by her presence,
Okay.
it seems, yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't have to lose your job.
Yeah, just grow up, you daft
or leave
fuck.
your job. I mean, yeah, she's obviously just a bit of a klutz. And a bit I feel a bit sorry for her, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I mean, the accent was difficult.
Don't let it get.
As well.
I doubt the woman is even thinking twice about these circumstances. Like
Things are always much bigger in your own head than they are.
You're your own main character. You're no one else's.
Someone once told me nobody gives a shit about you as much as you.
Yeah.
And as much as that was quite upsetting,
People often tell you that, though.
yes, they do.
No, that is
Max,
true.
we told you so many times. No one gives a shit.
Yes. Haven't spoke to my dad in a while. But I mean, it's true. Like, you're thinking in your head, oh my gosh, this is like such a thing. Do you deal with? Sorry, this just came to me. When you're like acting, do you deal with nerves still, or do you
incredible,
quite
really
badly?
bad nerves.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
awful. I did have to go to therapy for a bit
Really? It happens though.
for
It's
confidence and self-esteem and stuff like that. Because I was just convinced I couldn't do my job. It got to a point, and I haven't done a lot of acting over the last 5 years, because it got to a point where I'd be sat on set, and they'd be setting up cameras, and we'd be in a studio, and all this money was being spent and stuff like that, and I'd just be sat there the whole time, just going, they're going to find me out. They're going to realise that I'm not good at this, and I'm wasting everyone's time and money, and I'm going to ruin this TV show. So after you spend about a decade talking to yourself like that, you do go a bit insane.
Oh, God.
I can understand where you're coming from there, because I feel like I get it a lot, like imposter syndrome, where I'm like, how have I got to a point where I'm in this?
I wouldn't mind imposter syndrome, and I think everyone suffers from that.
Yeah.
Whereas I do look back, and I know for a fact that I've been lucky. I do know because like I said, like when I went to stage school, I grew up with people my age, way more talented than me, much better than me, but maybe haven't had the same success that I've had. It's luck. It was down to luck. It was lucky that it's all luck. It really, really is. And that's fine. I can deal with that sort of side of imposter syndrome. But then if anything hasn't worked, or something has been a disaster professionally or even personally, I blame myself.
Yeah.
That's not luck. That's not just bad luck. That's me. That's your fault, James. You did that.
Yeah.
Whereas all the good stuff, that was just luck.
Yeah, I see. That's probably where, I mean, I would imagine therapy and stuff will teach you that you shouldn't think that way.
It helps
Yeah.
a lot. And I think this girl's going through something similar. She's obviously very flustered when she's around this specific colleague. And maybe she should just acknowledge it and just mentally prepare. Just go, do you know what? At some point today, I'm probably going to do something a bit ditzy.
Yeah.
And that'll be that.
And it is what it is. No one really gives a shit.
Whereas if you build yourself up and go into the day going, right, don't do anything embarrassing today, you're inevitably going to.
Yeah.
Also, you're going to ruin the rest of your day.
100%.
Just constantly thinking about that.
I look back on times when I was like in school or something, and I was so self-conscious about every single thing that I thought moved did. And then I look back and I'm like, you missed out on so many opportunities where you could have just been having a good time.
Where you could have just been
And
happy.
I think that's why as an adult now, I mean, I literally have had similar situations to what you just said. I remember I did, I can't remember what it was. Like one of my first ever like interviewing things, I was interviewing this person who had been in a movie. And I went to the bathroom like 5 minutes before I was going to be called to do it. And I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror and I was like, this is the moment where everybody's about to realise you do not have a fucking clue what you're doing. You should not be here.
Yeah.
Like, your mum's a bitch. Yeah, no, and my mum's a lovely woman. But like, it just...
And
yeah,
you
I don't know.
stink.
Yeah, and you smell like shit. But you do, like, you get into it. And then sometimes... you're in that moment and it just comes out of you and you're like, and you've jizzed everywhere. No. Oh my God, sorry. I say comes out of you, I'm upset anyway.
Sure.
But like, and you realise, oh no, like if you just push through it, oh my God.
Carry on.
You can get there in the end.
Yeah. all puns, all sex puns.
Jesus Christ. But like, I think similar with this girl, just push through it and no one really gives a shit.
Yeah.
Good
or
for you, love.
There's some tension there, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Ask her out or something. Just
Yeah.
go completely 180.
Yeah.
Just go, listen, I'm taking you out tonight.
Oh, I like that.
Just go uber confident. Instead of being sort of all embarrassed, and just go, just maybe flick a coin or something, smoke a cigarette. Just go, you, me, tonight.
That's very cool. That sounds like classic office environment sort of stuff to me.
That people like that? That look, wear like a trilby, put like one leg up against the wall.
That is a complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Don't know.
One more question then before we wrap up on that subject. So obviously you've got your...
wrap up. Continue with
my
it.
God.
Don't
okay.
worry about it.
You've got your
Be
podcast
safe.
In Sickness and in Health with your
Yeah.
wife. How did you meet your wife? Was it a similar story to what you just said?
Quite
or-
a sort of
He sort of fell down
it's
on
quite a
photocopier.
modern way of meeting, to be honest, nowadays. But back when we did meet, it was a bit, possibly could have been dangerous.
Oh.
In that she, there was a bit of little DM sliding in, like very early on.
Which
From whose end?
Gentleman doesn't say. But it wasn't me.
Which app? Which app was it on?
Oh,
Twitter?
it was Twitter. Yeah,
Twitter.
It was Twitter,
Twitter,
and I was like, oh, hello there. That's nice. Then we started talking, and then sort of there was phone numbers got exchanged, and then that turned into sort of phone calls after a while, and yeah, immediately we started talking, and we got onto the subject of music, and I just thought, oh yeah, like, whatever, you're not going to be really, you're going to say you're into music because everyone's into music. Then we started talking about the Beatles and our favourite Beatles song and album and who our favourite Beatle was, and I was instantly like, well, I'm in love with you now. So that's the end of that.
Wait,
Yeah.
you've heard of the Beatles? Oh my God, I'm in love with you.
No, but you know how everyone's heard of the
yeah,
Beatles.
yeah.
But then we
Yeah.
were like properly talking about
Stuff like that bonds you. If you find that
Yeah.
you have such a very niche interest, like that you've gone to the same level with each other,
Yeah.
that bonds you quite quickly, I find.
So, and we do talk about this. We still talk about this to this day. If it wasn't for the Beatles, like, our kids wouldn't exist.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
That is mental.
Which makes me feel a bit sick thinking.
Yeah. It's like me, if it wasn't for the Glee cast, I might not be gay. Who knows? Who knows? Tune in next week to find out.
We'll have the results next week.
Yeah, could be straight. Woo! Oh, that's so interesting. Don't know. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to ask? I feel like we've had a great time.
Yeah, we've cleaned up.
Yeah.
Cleaned up shop.
And it's fair to say that, do you reckon he passed? Do you reckon he's better?
We'll find out next week, guys.
Yeah, we'll
No,
get back to you. We'll get our people
Okay,
to contact
yeah,
your people.
brilliant.
Did
I'll wait
very
by
well.
the phone.
But it was a pretty good trial shift.
Oh, amazing.
So well done.
Thank you. Thanks for seeing me. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yes.
Shall I go-
Well,
myself
I mean,
out?
You can let yourself out
You
if
can
you
let
like,
yourself
but,
out if you really
we're
want
just
to.
going to give us a little outro, are we?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, actually, if they've made it this far in the episode,
Oh, yes.
what should they comment?
What should they comment on the YouTube video if they've made
in
it
the
this
YouTube
far?
video.
Something that
I'm trying to think of
the
something.
comment section will
Something
like.
that will get through.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't think of anything. that's appropriate.
Clunge will not get.
No, that can't. That is no
Is
way
it?
that
Is
will
it
get
banned?
Because I assume you want lots of people to say this phrase, didn't you?
Yeah, it's true.
And you don't want to be known as the.
That's true.
Trust me, you don't want to be known as the clunge guys.
What about
There's like some people you need to get the clunge guys in.
interview wanker?
It's a
Will
swear
wanker
word,
be?
isn't
Yeah,
it?
wanker might get censored. Oh God,
I can't believe James did.
I can't
What
believe.
about hooch and gin?
Hooch and gin? Hooch and gin. I
Comment
like
that if you've made it this
There we
far.
go.
Can't wait to see none of those
That
comments.
could be a band name as
Hooch
well.
and gin.
It
It could be like a cop duo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get Hooch and Gin in.
Yeah.
They'll solve the case.
Yeah,
Let's get Joe Sugg on the line. That could
That's
be a TV
it.
idea.
He'll get it.
Yeah.
He's the man. He's the man.
Right, so James's podcast, In Sickness and in Health. Give it a listen. If you don't, then go and fuck yourself. No. And thank you so much for coming on, James.
thank you
We've
very
really
much.
enjoyed
Thank you
it.
for seeing me, guys.
Thank
I know
you.
that you've got a lot
Thank
of
you.
applicants, and I
Yeah, we do.
appreciate it.
We do.
Yeah, we've got
appreciate
a
you in.
long waiting list.
Quite an inconvenience, but we did
sorry,
it. Yeah.
thank
If you
Thank you.
did enjoy and you are
Oh.
watching,
Oh.
feel free to pop yourself
that
wherever
in,
you
Callum.
like.
Keep that in,
I
Callum.
thought
I
the
enjoyed
interview
it.
was over.
No, we're just going to give ourselves a little outro. If you did enjoy and you are watching, give us a like, a subscribe, ring that notification bell so you're notified that every time we upload. If you are listening, give us a 5-star rating, download us and listen to us on the go. But how should they send in a dilemma, Max?
Please send in a good, quick, straight to the point and interesting dilemma to our Instagram at the Useless Hotline Pod. And if you would like to send in a written one, please do so to our email, theuselesshotlinepodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, baby, what's one word that we can leave them with?
Until next time.
Keep tuning in, baby. We love you very much.
Petered out at the end there.
You were going so well.